you a question, Cuffy. At any time during the initial stages of your indictment involving this whole Tammy Commons thing, did you talk to Big Meech or did you send a message to Big Meech in any way to tell him or to alert him of what was going on?
We sent Big Meech certified mail. Big Meech set me up and Tammy set me up with the sting in 2013.
Well, did Blue Da Vinci cooperate or no?
Yeah, he cooperated. I mean, I didn't see it. It was in Miss Mara Shalhoub's book, where his own lawyer said, yeah, if there was anything else that we could do, Your Honor, to help you along with this case.
Big Meek just got thrown into the hottest fire he's seen yet, and guess who lit the match? 50 Cent. Yep, 50 just pulled out receipts that have everyone talking, and trust me, it's way messier than anybody expected.
Night, and then my homeboy that was with me, he was like, Tone Bird, he from BMF too. Tone was like, ask Big Homie what's up with the movie with 50, like what's going on with him from New York. I had to use my New York accent. Yo, what's going on with the 50 Cent movie? So I'm like, oh yo, Meech, what's up with the movie?
So here's the deal. 50 flashed some paperwork that hinted Meek might have been playing the snitch game. And baby, when I tell you the internet exploded, it was like setting gasoline on fire. But like, where did 50 even get this so-called proof? Word on the street is he's got old BMF insiders spilling tea faster than they can cash their checks. Some of them out here running their mouths like they're trying to win a lifetime supply of clout. It's wild. And listen, Meech, he is not taking this one lying down.
My client would be more than willing to cooperate with you all to help you in this investigation. But now the thing of it is by you admitting what was done, you know what I'm saying, what you done or whatever, but bottom line is, you know, you didn't take the single plea. You
People whispering slick like, you ain't heard about Meech? But trust, Meech is ready to pull up on 50 personally. Front row seat, no backstage passes. He's about to show 50 how a real kingpin handles disrespect. And y'all, Meek ain't just talking, he's ready to turn this thing into a whole lesson. Because for Big Meek, this isn't just a petty rap beef. This is legend status on the line, and it's about to get even messier. You know 50 Cent? Once he locks onto someone, he's like a pit bull with a T-bone steak. He don't just let go and move on, he clings. Throwing cash at dirt diggers, exposing folks left and right, that's his whole MO. But this time, 50 might want to think twice. Because Meek ain't just some random dude from the corner. We're talking about Demetrius Big Meek Flannery here, the real BMF boss, the mastermind behind one of the biggest street empires ever built. Let me break it down for y'all real quick. Back in the 1980 says, Meek and his brother Terry Southwest T jumped into the game hard. Started out with little $50 0-cent street bags, grinding, hustling, stacking. But by the early 2000s says, they had flipped that hustle into a full-blown national empire. Michigan, Georgia, Florida, Cali, Louisiana. To name a state, they had it locked. The feds were shook because these two were moving weight across the whole country and doing it in style. To keep the heat off, me and Terry set up BMF Entertainment, a slick, flashy music label front. On the outside, BMF looked like they were just throwing wild parties and pushing artists. Behind the scenes, they were laundering millions. Straight up money move, but here's the twist. They actually had a legit artist too, Blue Da Vinci. He dropped an album called The World is BMF's in 2005. Sounded real official, right? But by then, the walls were already closing in. In October 2003, the feds kicked down the doors, snatched Big Meech up, swapped his diamond chains for cold steel cuffs. And while everyone was pointing fingers at Blue Da Vinci, calling him the snitch, talking reckless, there was a whole lot more going on behind the scenes. Because while Blue was looking real sketchy, other names were getting whispered too. Names people didn't even know to look at yet. After the 2003 raid, everybody thought Blue was the rat. He looked soft, he wasn't getting touched. Folks were side-eyeing hard. And in 2004, things got uglier. Dexter Sosa Hussies, BMF's logistics boss, started throwing major shade at Blue. Not just in the streets, on official court records. Blue pulled up with his lawyer, thinking it was sweet, and boom, his own lawyer spilled the tea. Told the judge, by the way, Your Honor, Blue tried to cooperate. He even sat down for a full debriefing session with the government. But here's the gag. Blue didn't really know anything that could hurt the real BMF players, so he tried to snitch and still flopped. The feds didn't even want the dusty crumbs he was serving. So then everyone had the same burning question. If Blue wasn't the one who sang, who did? And that's when things started getting crazy. Fast forward to 2023, and bam! Blue Da Vinci finally flips the whole script. During an interview with Capone News, he dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. Turns out the real snitch wasn't who he thought. It wasn't some scared runner, it wasn't Blue. It was someone way closer, way more trusted. Tammy Cowens.
Yup.
The woman Big Meech trusted with his entire life story, the woman who stayed by his side after he got locked up, she was the one feeding the feds everything they needed. Tammy wasn't some random. She wasn't just a secretary. Since 2008, Tammy had been Meek's business partner, handling the rights to his life story, running errands, staying loyal. Or so he thought. And when 50 Cent linked up with her to co-produce the BMF series in 2021, it is mountains of insider knowledge. But here's the wildest part. She didn't even flip because she was scared or because she got caught up. Tammy had no criminal record, wasn't facing any charges, wasn't addicted, wasn't desperate. The feds themselves said she was one of the weirdest informants they ever dealt with. Why did she do it? Straight up revenge. Terry White, a major player Tammy had trusted, used her to wash his dirty money. When she found out, she flipped the whole board. It wasn't about survival, it was personal. At first, Tammy wasn't even getting paid. But once her snitching led to Terry White getting locked up, the DEA realized she was sitting on a gold mine. They nominated her for a cut of the seized assets. And baby, we're talking racks on racks. Cash, cars, cribs. Real money. She played it cold. Real cold. But it gets even messier. While the streets were buzzing about Blue Da Vinci, Tammy was out here working both sides. And Meek still trusted her with his legacy, plotting moves from behind bars, not knowing the walls were caving in because of her. Meanwhile, Big Meech was still doing what Meech does best, making moves. Locked up? Didn't matter. He linked up with a big player, Fidel Suarez, a trucking boss with deep cartel connections. Suarez had already dodged federal heat twice, 2005 and 2009, Teflon Don vibes. Meech saw an opportunity. Even behind bars, he was plotting to keep the empire moving. But he needed help on the outside. Guess who he called? Tammy. In 2011, Meek hit Tammy up, asked her to help line up a big delivery with Suarez. And Tammy, still smiling, still loyal to his face, was secretly feeding everything back to the feds. Every call, every move, every connection. She handed it all over. With Tammy snitching from the inside, law enforcement built a fat case. And by 2014, they finally dropped the hammer, arresting Dion Cuffy Gatling, one of Meek's main soldiers, 27 years in prison. Major loss. But here's the crazy part. Meek didn't catch a single charge, not even a slap on the wrist. And everyone was scratching their heads like, how the hell did Meek walk away clean when his fingerprints were all over the operation? Turns out, the reason Meek didn't get touched, Tammy straight up alive for him in court. Official records show when the feds grilled Tammy under oath, pressing her about whether Meek set up drug deals between Suarez and Gatling, she didn't flinch. She said no hesitation, no nervous blinking, just straight up loyalty. Tammy protected Meek at all costs, even though she had been working with the feds the whole time. But after that, the feds weren't stupid. They realized real quick Tammy couldn't be trusted anymore. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, it turns out Tammy wasn't just playing double agent. Sis was also getting cozy with one of the DEA agents assigned to the case. Yeah, sleeping with the ops. The same agent investigating Meech and his crew, Tammy was deep in his bed and deeper in his business. And that relationship, it wrecked the whole case. It was all downhill from there. By 2015, the walls started crashing in on Tammy. And the trigger? She stumbled on a suppression motion filed by Gatling's legal team, one that threatened to expose her identity as the confidential informant. CS1. Cue full-blown panic because Dion Cuffy Gatling, he wasn't no small-time player. Gatling was already tied to multiple murders, taking out anyone who dared snitch. Tammy knew if her name got out, it was curtains. Scared for her life, Tammy did the one thing she thought would save her. She ran straight to Big Meek, begging him for protection. After everything she did, after all the loyalty she showed, all night, she thought Meek would have her back. But Meek kept it ice cold, told her point blank, I don't want my name in any of this mess. No help, no loyalty, nothing. He wasn't about to get dragged into her storm. Feeling betrayed, Tammy decided, if Meek wasn't gonna save her, she'd burn the whole thing down. She threatened to drop a bombshell affidavit exposing everybody. The lawyers, the agents, even the judges. She accused the DEA agent she slept with of only dragging Meech's name into the investigation because he was jealous of how close she was to Meech. Biddy. Tammy was ready to set everybody on fire to save herself. Once Tammy's betrayal went public, it rocked Meech's whole image. This wasn't some enemy snitching. This was someone he trusted, someone inside his own camp. And now, the streets, the fans, even the BMF loyalists, they're looking sideways at everything. The legend of Big Meech, tainted, not erased, but definitely cracked. And the worst part, it wasn't 50 Cent who exposed him first. It was Meech's own choices, his own people. Meanwhile, 50 Cent? Oh. He's loving every second, posting shady memes, dropping sneak disses, smiling through every headline. Because for 50, this was never just about beef. This was about showing everybody, even kings fall when they trust the wrong people. Meech tried to play chess, but Tammy flipped the board. And now, 50's documentary is about to blow the whole story even wider open.